Last night, Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, went live to allegedly set the record straight about the situation with Wendy. But what he really ended up doing was exposing an alleged near-death experience for Wendy, which required 2 blood transfusions, issuing a fake apology if he hurt someone with his infidelities, and making sure that everyone knows that regardless of Wendy's health struggles, her battle with Wells Fargo over the control of her money, and the cancellation of her talk show, he is the true victim in this whole situation. Hunter strongly condemns Mark Mercury for firing him and not even allowing him to remove his personal belongings from his office, and seems to think that these actions by Mark Mercury discredited his over 10 years of hard work as an executive on the Wendy Williams show. Kind of like Wendy finding out her marriage contract of over 20 years was discredited by her husband cheating on her for several years, allegedly. Hunter also explains away the alleged reports of his presence creating a hostile work environment on the show by insinuating that as a black man, you can't be seen to be too nice, lest you be taken advantage of in these elevated executive positions that are famed for their lack of diversity. During his live, he also tries to prove his contributions as an executive producer on the Wendy Williams show by hinting that it was him who pushed forward the idea of Nick Cannon being a guest host on the show, which eventually led to Cannon receiving his own show in September 2021. If there is some truth to Kevin Hunter pushing forward Nick's name as a guest host, could this also be the reason that Nick's show was canceled just 9 days after Hunter filed his lawsuit against Mark Mercury for wrongful termination? Hunter's suit claims that he was fired on the basis of his marital status, and that his firing was effective immediately, just days after Wendy Williams filed for divorce when she learned Hunter had fathered a child with his mistress of several years. In his hour-long live, Hunter tries again to prove that he was integral to the success and smooth running of the show by suggesting that if he were still involved, Wendy would not be dealing with her current issues and the show would still be going strong. But this was also something that he contradicted while trying to absolve himself of blame for Wendy's health issues by saying that she had problems before he fathered a child outside of his marriage. He failed to take into account that the possibility of his years-long affair in the pursuit of his own happiness had anything to do with the breakdown in Wendy's well-being and thereby the show. So if his job was to keep the show running smoothly, then he seems to have failed spectacularly, which would certainly be grounds for termination. Hunter also had some scathing comments against Wells Fargo, who according to reports have denied Wendy Williams access to her financial assets. Based on court documents, Wells Fargo stated that they have strong reason to believe that Wendy is the victim of undue influence and financial exploitation. And while the bank is definitely open to arranging to release funds directly to Wendy's creditors to pay outstanding amounts that have been historically and regularly paid from the accounts in questions, like utilities and employee salaries, they have no plans to release large sums of money to Wendy or anybody connected to her. And since allegedly alimony was not a part of Wendy's divorce settlement with Hunter, any large amounts of payment to her ex that could have allegedly been made from Wendy's accounts would probably not be considered among the creditors that Wells Fargo is willing to pay. And since Wells Fargo reportedly stopped Wendy's account access in January, this could explain the Hail Mary lawsuit against Mark Mercury almost 4 years after Hunter's termination. Tell us what you think about this situation. And for ways to avoid going through any of this hassle in your own life, check out our video on fun games that can save your marriage. Thanks for watching and have fun today.